My dear brothers and sisters, we come across another popular story which goes very smoothly. We really understand what is happening because of this widow versus the judge who neither has fear of God nor respect for man. But also you notice at the end there is a kind of an ending that we do not understand when Jesus says, when the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on earth? I'll come to that in a minute. But to begin with, we realize a widow, this is a cause that is very hopeless, because this is a widow, meaning that she is not really supposed to be the one meeting the judge. It should be her husband. But because her husband is no longer there, this widow is powerless. She has no one to talk to stand on her behalf or to fight for her. And the widows were considered, like I said some time ago, the most powerless in society and the most poor and the most desperate, because people could easily take advantage of them because they had no one to stand on their behalf. So this widow is going to approach, as we have heard, approached a judge who has neither fear of neither fear of God nor respect for man. Meaning that she is almost, it's a cause that is really hopeless because it's not going to get herself through. First of all, she is weak. She has no one who can intercede for her. And then the judge has neither fear of God nor respect for man. But then she did not lose hope. She kept persisting and persisting and persisting until she got her justice. And the gospel has started actually by Jesus saying that this parable talks about the need for prayer continually without ceasing. Just some time ago, our students brought up a complaint that our computers are very slow. Computers are very slow, so we had to get somebody, and we paid a lot of money to make them really fast so that they can work on them. I say this because, not for anything, because we really don't want when things are slow. If the mass is very long, people get really agitated. If you go to the bank and the queues are very long, then people get agitated. Even when we drive, we are so impatient, we want to really try to get the easiest way and get there as fast as possible, even if we are going to do nothing. We want to get to our destinations fast. We want things that are done fast. We want to go to the ATM machine and get things fast. We want to get just one click to the place. That's why we go on Google. Our students don't need to even read again. They just go to Google and then they type something and they press the enter button and everything comes up. There is no need for you to do research again because there is a shortcut for everything. And now there is even the one called AI, which is even much easier, making things more and more easy for everybody. And I think, my brothers and sisters, that has become a real big problem. And I think that is the reason why Jesus says, when the Son of Man comes on the earth, will he find any faith? Will he find any faith? Because everybody, including myself, has become so impatient with waiting. We don't want to wait. We don't want to persist. We don't want to ask and ask and ask and ask. No, we want something that we ask for and is given to us as soon as possible. And that is the problem that we have with our faith, because God seems to delay. God doesn't seem to move in our own pace and our own time. That's why many people have lost faith and they have gone to other means which is going to give them a fast answer to their problems. That is a real problem that we must look into, because that the world has made us to think and to believe that once we get things fast, we get happier. Once you can actually, even these days, you don't have to go and stand on the road and wait for a taxi. You can book it online and it comes and picks you at your door. Things are made very simple, and that is the problem. I want to draw to your attention the story of Saint Monica, whose feast day we celebrated in August. Saint Monica was the mother of Saint Augustine. And the legends would have it, the writers would have it, that she spent almost the whole of her life praying for the conversion, first of her mother and her husband. And for 17 years, she spent praying for her son, for the conversion of her son, Augustine. 17 years. In fact, she would go to the priest, and many of the priests were beginning to avoid her because they said, why is this lady praying for something that is so hopeless? The son is all gone and forgotten. There's nothing that can be done to help her. Until she met one priest who said to her, God cannot fail to listen to the prayers of the woman who has shed so much tears. This woman never gave up. In fact, after the conversion of St. Augustine, she died the next year. The following year she died. Meaning she spends all her life not giving up on prayer. Even when it did not come, she did not stop praying. And this is exactly what the widow did. Even though she knew it was very hopeless, she was going to a judge who had neither fear of God nor respect for man. She knew this judge is not going to do anything, but she never gave up. She kept praying. She kept seeking for justice until it was granted to her. And Jesus says, if this unjust judge could give justice to this woman, what about your heavenly Father who loves you so much? Will he not listen to you who cry to him day and night? The problem is that we want God to fit in our own space and in our own time. We want God, once we ask, we want to receive immediately. And once we can't receive, the devil has other options. The quack doctors can do it for you now, so why not rush to the quack doctors and he's going to do it for you immediately? That is the problem. That is the issue that we have. We stop praying very fast because we have lost patience, because the world has made us to feel that once we ask for something, we receive it. We have even made our children to believe that, because whenever they ask for something, we always give it to them the time they want it. We have lost the sense of discipline because we feel to love our children is to give them what they need at whatever time, not what they need, but what they want at whatever time they want it. And therefore they grow up knowing that when their parents love them, it means whatever thing they ask for, they will be given. And therefore when they come to church and they ask for something and God does not give them, there is a problem. When we seek something and we do not find it, then we get so discouraged and we give up on prayer. I have normally healing masses in Jos Gugma community every first Saturday of the month. And you could find some people who would never fail. They would see their situation is not changing physically. They have been coming there from the day one that I started that, and they have never stopped coming. But there are people also who would come one time and just to see, is something going to happen to me? And once it does not happen, you will never find them again. Because they want the quick answers to the questions that they are asking. And once we don't get that, then we give up so easily. My dear brothers and sisters, St. Paul warns us about this, and he tells us, he encourages the Christians of Rome, Romans chapter 12, verse 12, and he says, pray without ceasing. To the Christians in Thessalonica, 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 17, he says, pray without ceasing, pray at all times, pray patiently. Psalm 27 verse 14 tells us that we must wait for the Lord, and we must take this opportunity that God has given us, waiting for him, knowing that he will never fail us. He might delay, but he will never fail us. He will not stop answering us whenever we ask him. Therefore, let us continue to ask God for the grace of patience, patient endurance, that we may be able to endure, that when we ask, we will not get tired of asking. We will keep seeking and loving Jesus, because he has promised that he will be with us until the end of time, and that when we seek him, we would find him.